Conference USA Championship between Central Florida and Tulsa. UCF trying to become the first school to win 3 Conference USA titles. Tulsa looking for its first win since 2005. These two teams squared off just 2 weeks ago here in Tulsa. It was a big day for Kieris Garrett. Outstanding wide receiver for Tulsa, caught 3 touchdown passes. UCF had turnovers, struggled on offense, and Tulsa won the game 23-21. What will happen in the rematch today? UCF is going to start on offense. Tulsa winning the toss, electing to defer. And we'll get a look early at Quincy McDuffie, one of the most dynamic return men in all of college football. He has 6 career kick returns for touchdowns and 3 this year. We'll see if Tulsa kicks it away from him. It's very windy, about 30-mile-an-hour winds here in Oklahoma. And the tallest kicker in the land, Cole Way, at 6 feet 8 inches tall. He's also their punter and their holder. He will kick off to start the game. Winner goes to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And McDuffie will run it out for UCF. And McDuffie ran into his own man and brought down. The ball came out at the 32-yard line. Hard to tell whether he was down first. Officials ruled that it is a fumble, and the Tulsa's got it.
Well, McDuffie's got all kinds of speed. It looked like very close there. It looked like his back was on the ground there, Dave. He's ripping, trying to get that ball out.
Michael Mudo came up with the recovery. I think it's out.
Yeah, I think that was out. That was a good call from the official.
Now George O'Leary, head coach of UCF in his 9th year, won the title in 2007 and 2010. A little adversity for his team to start, with Tulsa getting possession at the 32-yard line. Cody Green's their quarterback. Former Nebraska Cornhusker, who started 4 games for them. In 2010, he transferred, sat out last year. The reason he played in 2010 was because of injury to Taylor Martinez, but they're very different quarterbacks. Even though Green can run, he wants to be a passing quarterback. He'll throw here on first down, going for the end zone, and a flag for interference. They went to Garrett, who, as we mentioned, had 3 touchdowns in the first meeting, and he was interfered with on the first play by Ishmael.
Yeah, and Ishmael is probably the best player that UCF has in the secondary, but he clearly gets that hand on the hip of Garrett.
The 15-yard in the previous spot, and it's a first down.
I love the play call by Bill Blankenship early in the game. Right off of a turnover, you take a shot to Garrett, who had 3 touchdowns in the last contest. Go for the jugular right from the start.
Here's Watts getting the carry, and he's brought down at the 18-yard line, or the 13-yard line rather, a gain of about 4 for Watts. They have 3 backs with more than 600 yards rushing apiece. We'll see all 3 of them, but Watts maybe their best back.
We'll see Watts. We'll see Jatarian Douglas. We'll see Alex Singleton, who's their big back at 260 pounds in short yardage goal line situation.
There's Watts again inside the 10-yard line before he's pushed back. He'll come up a couple of yards shy of a first down. Tackle made by E.J. Dunston and Terrence Plummer. Watts in the first meeting had 122 yards rushing on 20 attempts. Former walk-on. Not a big guy, but shifty with good vision.
I really like what I saw on film from Watts. He's really able to read the defense, especially on the second level, how safeties affect the running game. He's also very good out of the backfield.
They go empty set, a design quarterback run as the powerful Green tries to get the first down. We'll see where they stop forward progress. He'll be short. How about that? After UCF fumbles the ball and then gives up pass interference on first down, They now are faced with a 4th down situation.
I don't think there's any question for Bill Blankenship. You got a back in Alex Singleton, who's 260 pounds. You go for it in this situation. Send a message to your team and to the UCF team that you came to play today.
Now Singleton is in the tail of the I formation. He is their short yardage back. Cody Wilson is the up man at tight end. Here's Singleton. No shot there on the initial effort. The ball comes out on the second effort. And let's see if they rule it a fumble. It was recovered by Brandon Alexander, and it is a turnover. Hard to tell whether he was down or not to begin with. But UCF has the ball.
I think he was trying that second effort, trying to get that first down. I thought he had the first down on second effort. Not there, but he spins and keeps fighting. And Ishmael's the one that comes in and gets that football out.
Brian, I think his right knee was down. I think his right knee was down before the ball came out. The question is, did he have the first down at that point? Anyway, it's a game of turnovers here in less than 2 minutes. We've already hit 2. I was going to ask you, going in, what do you expect when you have two teams that played 2 weeks ago? We saw last night Stanford and UCLA in back-to-back weeks with the same team winning. Will we have a similar outcome from what we had 2 weeks ago here?
You know, I think it's hard when you play so close together. The preparation, the teams are very familiar with each other. I thought Tulsa really dominated the game 2 weeks ago on both lines of scrimmage. They ran for over 200 yards, and they held UCF to 66 yards rushing. But this is an emotional game in a championship like this. And how does UCF respond? What's the resolve that they have after giving up a close loss 2 weeks ago? Can they come out and match the intensity on both lines of scrimmage? That's the key in the game to me.
UCF takes over on its 5-yard line. And it'll be a pass play. Bortles looking to dump it off. Dexter's tight end Tukes, who gets lit up by 6'4", 220-pound safety Dexter McCoyle. Now, Bortles did not have a good day here 2 weeks ago. Did him a touchdown, but a poor completion percentage.
Yeah, he really struggled because he didn't have a whole lot of protection. I mean, this Tulsa team brings a lot of pressures from linebackers, corners, all kinds of pressure looks. And this offensive line for UCF last time they played did not protect their quarterback well enough to win. Big key in this game.
Murray in trouble. Did he get out? Yeah, he did. He was able to get out to the 2 before his knee hit the ground. Derek Jackson on the stop. It was close with that knee almost going down in the end zone. Let's take a look at today's Impact Players, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse. Latavius Murray led the conference in rushing during the regular season.
Yeah, and they've got to get the football to McDuffie as well on offense. He's the guy they like to get the speed sweeps. He had 3 touchdowns on offense a week ago, and then we've already seen the impact that Ishmael has had on defense, giving up a big play penalty, but also forcing the turnover.
Played 3.5 minutes. We've had 2 turnovers and 2 penalties, and now from the middle of the end zone, Bortles throws high, incomplete. There was pressure in the end zone, and Godfrey, the intended receiver.
Blake Bortles has to feel comfortable in the pocket and make these throws. Take a look. He's going to have Godfrey wide open. You take 1-2 hitches, let that ball go. This is late, and that's why he has to throw the ball high over the linebacker. But if that ball is thrown on time, it's a completion. You're out of your own end zone. You flip the field at the very minimum. Now you're going to at least give up 3 points to Tulsa.
Boyle the punt, and watch the deep man. Look at that thing get hung up in the air. And fair caught at the 38-yard line. It looked like it was going to be a longer kick, but it just hung up in the air into the wind. It's a 37-yard punt. No return, no score early in Tulsa. It's warm here for December 1st in Tulsa. Temperature around 70 degrees, but 30-mile-an-hour winds. And Tulsa has the wind at its back here. And another ball on the ground. Green jumps on it. A loss of 7. That's the 3rd fumble already in this contest. 2 have been lost.
I tell you, it looks like there's a little bit of nerves. You know, you have these championship games, and these 2 teams obviously very familiar with each other, but there's a lot going into this game, a lot of nerves so far when you have fumbles, missed assignments, missed throws, you're late with reads. That all points to 2 quarterbacks that are pretty new in their positions and seeing the jitters early on.
So 2nd and 17, and Green will throw, and he finds Garrett fighting for the first down. Going to be close at the 28. Initial contact made by A.J. Boye. Garrett with 61 catches now in the season.
No jitters there. That was a bullet from Green to Garrett, and kind of bullet that UCF saw 3 times for touchdowns the last time these two teams got together. That's the kind of throw and catch, the kind of conversion that will get your confidence, settle the team down, and get into rhythm.
They'll hand it off here to Douglas. And he gets crunched at the 24. Terrence Plummer in on the stop after a gain of 3. This Tulsa offense 12th in the nation in rushing, and they also protect the passer. They only have given up 8 sacks this year. That's 4th best in the FBS.
Well, they've been very balanced. They run the ball effectively. Everybody thinks of Tulsa, the wide open offense, going back to Todd Graham, throwing it all over the lot, but they like to run the football.
Here's Douglas, and he gets cut down at the 20-yard line. Now, meanwhile, a touchdown, which seems insignificant when you tell that story, Wendy, but a touchdown for Thomas Robertson, and Tulsa's on the board.
Well thrown ball here from Cody Green. 2 times they run the football on first down, sets up play action. The linebackers react, and that ball is right on the money to Robertson for the first touchdown of the game.
So 2 possessions starting inside the 40-yard line of UCF, and Tulsa capitalizes here. The extra point by true freshman Daniel Schwartz makes it 7-0 Tulsa. Tulsa taking advantage of good field position, leads Central Florida 7-0.
Let's go back and take a look at that last touchdown. They bring Kamal Ishmael down in the running game to stop the running game. The first 2 plays of this series were runs, and then you get one-on-one coverage, and the safety does not react in time. That's Gathers, but you bring Ishmael down to stop the run. Play action, isolation for Robertson, and a poor reaction from Gathers is an easy touchdown for Tulsa.
Got the help of the wind, and he will take a knee here. That one was much easier than the first decision. So we'll come out of the 25 for UCF. UCF playing in its 4th Conference USA Championship game. They're 2-1 in title games, including a win over Tulsa. They're leaving the league after this season to go to the Big East. UCF is on first down. Bortles had to change the trajectory there. A little sidearm throw to Giovanetti, and he carries defenders out near midfield. Gain of over 20 there on first down before McCoyle and Rose bring him down.
Giovanetti's a good receiver on the outside. They bring a blitz inside. You're going to see Dexter McCoyle, 26, come up, and he just misreads the angle there. Comes underneath. If you're going to cut underneath the receiver as a defender, you got to make sure you can get a hand on the football or pick it off. Otherwise, the ball goes by you, and he gets the sideline for a nice gain.
Only his 6th catch of the season, Giovanetti. Run play Murray, and he's cut down after a gain of about a yard. Sean Jackson, who was suspended earlier in the season, but is a key player at linebacker for Tulsa. He's back now playing motivated, and he made the hit there, gain of only a yard.
UCF has not been able to establish the running game so far. You've seen a couple of passes on first down to start this series and the last series. If they're going to have success against this blitzing style of defense, they've got to be able to take pressure off of Bortles in the running game.
Bortles with a lot of time, and it's Tooch that comes open inside the 30 and down to the 28-yard line. 23-yard gain.
When you give Blake Bortles a pocket that's solid to throw from, he can throw the football. Take a look here. You see up front a nice pocket, no pressure. He's able to survey the field, and he gets the football to Tukes, who did not play in the game 2 weeks ago. And the Tulsa coaches were a little bit concerned about the matchup issues on UCF's tight end.
Yeah, that's the 2nd catch already for Tukes. He had 7 the entire season. Back to the ground game, and Murray straight ahead. Down to the 24-yard line for 4 yards. Brought down by Dexter McCoyle. Now Bortles has played much better protecting the ball of late. Only 2 picks in his last 9 games. He had 5 in the first 4 games, but They also played Missouri, Ohio State during that span. George O'Leary said he was really nervous in the Ohio State game. They're actually in that game. They're only down 7 at the half. They've led at the half in every other game this year, including those 2 losses against Missouri and here at Tulsa. Bortles trying to set up a screen, and Murray able to shake a defender, and then tackled around the 20 by DeWitt Jennings, just short of a first down.
And that's a good play by the corner, John Flanders. Take a look. It was an all-out blitz. There's nobody left. If he gets past Flanders there, he slows him up just enough so the rest of his teammates and Jennings can get over there to make the stop. And
Rob Calabrese, who started 13 games at quarterback from 2008 to 2010, has become their Wildcat quarterback, and he's in there on 3rd down and short. And Tyler Gabbard, another quarterback's in there as well. And fighting for the first down is Calabrese, and it looks like he's got it. How about that? You had Gabbard, Blaine Gabbard's younger brother, a transfer from Missouri, who was lined up as receiver. So you had 2 quarterbacks on the field, neither of which was Blake Bortles.
Well, that's popular. It's in vogue now in college football to have a couple of quarterbacks on the field to create indecision, but I don't think there was any question who was going to get that football in a short yardage situation.
Calabrese able to get the first down. Bortles back in under center with Murray behind him. And it's Murray off the right side. Very patient run. And then rolls through a defender at the 10-yard line. Lowell Rose tried to take on the 220-pound Latavius Murray, and that was an easy victory for the tailback.
Got a nice block from the wide receiver. Watch, you're going to see Perriman, number 81, come in and get a block right there on the safety, which gives Murray an extra 6 or 7 yards. And if you don't get low and wrap up on Latavius Murray, he will make you pay. Big back at 222 pounds coming downhill. Wow.
There's Murray on 2nd and goal. Hit at the ankles. Able to fight through the first hit. That brought down at the 10, so he got a couple of yards back. Sean Jackson, McCoyle, and St. John in there. And that's the end of the first quarter. Via 3rd down and goal for UCF, or 2nd and goal rather, when we come back. We had 3 turnovers in that opening quarter and 1 score. That was a touchdown pass by Cody Green to Thomas Robertson. UCF looking to tie the game on the 10-yard line, trailing after 1 quarter of play here. In the Conference USA Championship, a spot in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at stake.
Central Florida's been really good in the red zone this year. You see almost 70% of the time scoring touchdowns when they get down here. It's because they got a big back in Latavius Murray, but he's not in the football game.
Now they're going with an empty set to get Murray actually wide. Then he comes in motion. They fake it to him, and here's Bortles running, and he doesn't get much. Stood up at the 9-yard line by Sean Jackson.
That's interesting play selection there. I think UCF was hoping that Latavius Murray would take a lot of the defense and a lot of the attention, and they might be able to sneak Bortles, but well played by Tulsa defensively. Brings up a 3rd and long situation. You got to be careful if you're Blake Bortles here. No need to force a throw into the end zone because these windows in the red zone are very tight.
Bortles steps up, back of the end zone, caught, touchdown! Brashad Perriman, the true freshman who has really come on of late. His dad, Brett, played a long time in the NFL. And he pulls it in for his 3rd score this year.
Well, Perriman is a big receiver, 6'2", 203 pounds. Does he get his feet down here at the end?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Perfectly thrown ball from Bortles over the linebacker and right in the face mask of Perriman.
Point after ties the game. Perriman has really improved. One of just a few true freshmen that play on this UCF team. Able to get free in the back of the end zone on 3rd down and long for the game-tying catch. Out of bounds, it will come out to the 25. Here's Watts, finds a crease, and then dragged down at the 32-yard line. Dankenbrain brings him to the ground after a gain of close to 8.
That was a nice drive by UCF offense the last time out. Did they give their defense enough time on the sideline to make some adjustments? Did George O'Leary have time to find the kind of pace to stop this Tulsa offense?
And that pass there was wide, intended for Garrett.
Yeah, as that throw, you could see that ball coming out didn't have as tight a spiral as it normally does. But my concern is not as much the cut itself, but when it starts to bleed, the blood gets on your finger, the liquid on your finger makes it very slippery and almost impossible to throw the ball.
Boy, that is some in-depth insight and analysis on that.
I've had it happen, unfortunately. I tried to take a snap, and I had, blood on my hand, and blood is very slippery, in case you wanted to know.
Thank you. 3rd down and 5. And the underneath throw off target. A flag down, though. This might be roughing the passer. Let's see. The hit came in low, and they really are emphasizing the low hits on the quarterback. Let's see if that's what the penalty is, or was it holding? There was a hit low on Cody Green.
Holding on the offense, number 53. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's on Trent Dupuy, the center. But there was a low hit to the quarterback. It apparently wasn't late.
Well,
that's why they didn't flag.
It looked like he was getting blocked into the quarterback. The same. It was Dupuy that had the hold, and he was holding right in the middle of the screen, and then his man ends up falling into the quarterback. You can see that there, and it's like he almost got blocked in. That's a no call.
And it was incidental contact, really, with the quarterback. So Tulsa punting for the first time. They've had some trouble. Cole Way has had 3 punts blocked. Not all have been his fault, but he is 6 feet 8 inches tall. And look at the punt hang in the wind. And if you're a Tulsa player, you got to be careful. And a Central Florida player, you got to be careful there that you don't accidentally have it hit you. And a short punt, and they'll have the ball on the 40-yard line when we come back. That starting field position of the day for UCF on its 48-yard line, and that after a muffed punt. Ball bounced an additional 17 yards after the muff. Murray in trouble in the backfield, reverses field and shows some speed at 220 pounds. And then stiff arming at the end. Out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Gain of about 15 on the play.
It's just this is the element that Murray brings to the equation. The power, there's nothing there. Changes direction, and then the speed to outrun. Those are two. One's the safety, Nelson. The other, the corner, Flanders. And Murray's got plenty of speed to get to the outside.
He was the MVP of the Conference USA title game in 2010 at a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown in that game. And he missed 3 games this year due to injury. Don't know what their record would be if he was in there. Bortles, and has a completion. Again, Perriman makes the big catch on 3rd down. He had the touchdown catch on 3rd and goal from the 8. And here on 3rd and 14, he makes a play at the 23-yard line.
And Perriman just comes down and runs an in route. This is poorly defensed by Tulsa. They brought a little bit of pressure, but just trying to play a 3-deep coverage. And the linebacker underneath needs to play with depth into his spot, and then the corner's got to get a jam on the wide receiver.
A 19-yard gain, 1st down for UCF. Pressure coming. Oh, and it's a screen, and they've got blockers for Murray, but a nice play in the open field by DeMarco Nelson to take down Murray. It's only a gain of 5. It would have been a lot more if he doesn't get to the big back and drag him to the ground.
That play was well set up, well designed. I like the 1st down screen call, and looked like there might have been a horse collar at the end of that. Nelson had him from behind. They could have easily thrown that penalty flag. Take a look. Nelson's got his hand on the back here, and you say you got to yank or pull down aggressively.
And immediately.
And
I don't think that was a horse collar. I think they got it right. 2nd and 5. Bortles steps up. He can run inside the 10 and slides to the 6-yard line for a 1st down.
Tulsa has not been able to get the pressure on the quarterback. You see here they bring another linebacker, and it just opens like the Red Sea there. And no question that Bortles is going to take that ball and run. He's got just enough athletic ability to hurt you in third down situations. And you can see the confidence level growing with each snap, each productive snap from Blake Bortles. And last time they were down here, made a very nice throw for a touchdown. Wouldn't be surprised if they take a shot here in a first down play action situation.
They went to Perriman. He's not in the game here on first down. And they scored down here, same situation, 3rd and goal. Bortles with time waits and wide open to the end zone. McDuffie. Touchdown UCF. And the Knights have the lead.
It's amazing what you can do from the quarterback position when you've got time to survey the field and throw the football. Great protection up front. Tulsa decides not to bring pressure. And when you have that much time, somebody's going to get open. And McDuffie continues to work, gets the touchdown for UCF.
And the point after good. So they survive a near turnover, a muffed punt, but a heads-up play by Calabrese to recover it. And then a nice drive by UCF. And again on 3rd and goal, second time today, a touchdown pass by Bortles.
On the defense, number 26. The penalty is declined. The points are good.
Cancer. Bill Blankenship is a cancer survivor, and Jen Brown has that story.
Well, guys, yeah, as you mentioned, he did have cancer. Back in 1989, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma while coaching at Spiral High School. Now, he underwent 6 months of chemotherapy. Unfortunately, he's been cancer-free now for 22 years. Now, he said a lot of those feelings, though, did get brought back up last year. A former Tulsa offensive tackle, Wilson Holloway, lost his battle with the same disease. He was diagnosed in 2008. He continued to play on the Tulsa football team while he underwent chemotherapy. The player said obviously he was an inspiration. They dedicated last season to his memory, and obviously coach said that he's so proud to have programs like the V Foundation where they raise so much money and awareness and can hopefully one day find a cure.
And Bill Blankenship with that non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 1989 had the chemotherapy for 6 months. He says sometimes we forget how many of us there are out there that have had cancer and that have survived. Hadn't had any relapses or anything.
No, it was a great perspective that he had yesterday, and how fortunate he is to be a survivor, be in the position that he is, and his road to the head coach at Tulsa has taken a long time. 23 years as a high school coach, and he has persevered not only through cancer but in his career as well.
Here's Alex Singleton, the big 260-pound short yardage back, in on 1st and 10, picks up 8 yards. By the way, Cody Green, after a hot start, 6 of 6 with a touchdown. He's 0 for his last 5 of the pick, and you wonder if it's the hand. And the cut on the hand is impacting his throwing at all. Singleton on 2nd and short, runs through a defender and gets the first down. Let's check in with Wendy in the studio.
Dave, thank you. Some breaking news out of Kansas City. Police have confirmed it was linebacker. Police say he fatally shot himself. Dave?
And here's a run play. Singleton. I did get a text from a former Kansas City chief who knew Belcher, told me that Belcher was a quiet guy, but a good guy from all of the experiences that he had with him in Kansas City. Obviously, sad news and more info to come. Sports Center's on ESPN News right now, and I'm sure this will be discussed throughout the next couple of days. The game right now is on, Chiefs and Panthers. We'll see if that changes here in the next few hours. But the Panthers are supposed to travel to KC. Here's Watts, big hole, might be gone if he can get past the safety. He's pushed out of bounds by Geathers, but a huge play inside the 40-yard line.
Watch the blocking on the outside. You get the block from the left tackle, the left guard. Nice block by the fullback. The rotation from UCF in the secondary was to the strong side away. Nice call from Tulsa offensive.
Singleton straight ahead into to the 15-yard line, ran right through UCF defender. Ishmael on the stop. Singleton has 38 career rushing touchdowns. Most have been on the goal line.
how big his legs are. He looks like a guard from the waist down. I would not want to tackle those knees coming through the hole.
Back to Singleton again. First down and more. And then just splatters the pile. First and goal inside the 10.
Take a look at Alex Singleton coming into your living room. Tell me if you want to be a linebacker tackling this. High knees. Look how big his pads are. I mean, it's just, and you got Ishmael and safeties trying to tackle that load coming through. You're going to need an ice bath if you're a safety for UCF at the end of this game.
He gets it again, and he'll walk in. And Tulsa with an opportunity to tie the game. Touchdown, Singleton. School record, 39th rushing, 40th overall.
Well, his record-breaking touchdown may have been his easiest touchdown of his career. That was very well blocked up front. Give credit to this offensive line. Huge hole for Singleton.
Maybe they just didn't want a part of him again. Maybe they didn't want to
I don't
get hit again. Nice drive, 7 plays, 75 yards. And a point after by Schwartz ties it up at 14. All 75 yards on that drive around the ground. The kickoff hangs in the air, and they got to dive for it to make sure they don't turn it over. Rennell Hall with a heads-up play. 2 minutes to go in the half. 1 timeout remaining for Central Florida. Tulsa brings 5 again. Bortles well overthrown. Intended for J.J. Wharton.
Whew, that's a dangerous throw over the middle. If I'm UCF, I'm allowing Bortles to throw the outside. When he throws in the middle of the field, sometimes he takes some chances. Take a look here. Again, there's some pressure and moving around, and this ball thrown well over the receivers. And if McCoy was looking for the football, yes, he could make an adjustment there and possibly get a hand on it.
And he's normally very good at that. He's got 17 career interceptions. And ball hawking safety. See the numbers for Bortles, only 9 completions, but 2 touchdowns. Bortles underneath throw to Godfrey, who will be short of the first down. So it'll bring up 3rd down and a couple. Clock running, minute 40 and counting. UCF going to save that timeout for now.
This is an important drive for Bortles and for UCF. Get some rhythm in a 2-minute drill. When you're a quarterback and you get a successful 2-minute drill to go in before half, it does wonders for your confidence.
Calabrese is in to run the Wildcat, or as they call it, the Wild Knight. Everybody's got a name for it. And he'll keep it. And DeAndre Brown wraps him up. He did not get it. And UCF will have to punt on 4th down. Tulsa will call a timeout. Wise move there by Bill Blankenship to call a timeout. Stop the clock with 1:10 left.
Jordan McCray, the left guard, is going to pull around, and he's got DeAndre Brown. He just missed him. He had missed assignment there in the hole from McCray. He blocks Jackson, who was already being blocked. If he would have blocked Brown, there was a lot of running room.
And Brown is close there, maybe to a face mask on the tackle. They got rid of that 5-yard face mask for incidental in the past. Now it's just if you turn the mask, you'll get a 15-yard penalty. That was close. Boyle's punt will go into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, 55-yard punt. Last completion for Green was at the 6-minute mark of the first quarter, and Green keeps it here, picks up the first down, so the clock will stop as they reset the chains. But again, they keep it on the ground with Green. Had a big play. And Green brought down at the 48-yard line. We'll see if Tulsa uses its timeout here. The clock will stop to reset the chains. Maybe your philosophy changes now and you put it in the air after that 15-yard run. They'll save the timeout. 18 seconds left. And Green will throw. And he's got a man along the sidelines. And it's Garrett who's in the field goal range with 13 seconds left. Now you can run a play in the middle of the field. You got a timeout.
It's like found money. You know, you run a quarterback draw, you get to 18, 20 yards, and now you say, okay, well, let's throw it, take a shot. And I thought Garrett had an opportunity to stay in bounds there. If he could have stayed in bounds, he was gone.
Yes, might have scored. Green pumps, and Overthrows the intended receiver, maybe just threw it away. 8 seconds left. Do you take a chance, run a play, or do you bring on your kicker? You're kicking into the wind, and it would be about a 52-yarder. You've got a true freshman kicker whose long is 45, so they are going to run another play.
Well, you absolutely run another play. You need to get, you can't make a 52-yarder into the wind. You need to get at least 7 or 8 yards here, but you got your timeout, so the middle of the field is still in play.
Green will go to the end zone. The ball hangs in the air, and it's caught. Is there time on the clock to get the timeout? They will stop the clock to reset the chains, and let's see if they use the timeout. They will. How about that? Robertson with the catch. 32 yards in traffic.
Get 7 or 8 yards, attempt a field goal, or just loft one up like a punt down there and get 32 yards. This is not how I would have drew it up, but you take a chance, and here's Robertson. He's just going to run down the field, and he's going to throw it up, and it could have easily been intercepted. Tulsa very fortunate to get this opportunity to attempt a field goal in this situation.
And if you're Bill Blankenship, you say, you know what, this is a gift. Let's take the points rather than trying to take a shot here to the end zone.
There's no question. If it was on the 1 yard line or inside the 1, then you got Singleton.
They're gone. Grease. They're going to go. Ball's at the 2. They're out of timeout, so this would be the final play.
Yeah.
And Singleton, their power back, has already rushed for 1 touchdown today. He's got 20 on the season.
This was a 2-point game 2 weeks ago. Points are going to be at a premium. This is going to be a close game through the second half.
Singleton's not even in the game. They pitch it to Douglas, and he gets in with a second effort touchdown as time expires in the half. How about that call by Bill Blankenship, not only to go for it, but then you got the 180-pound back, not the 280-pound back in the game. Now, especially after the Hail Mary, I would have thought, you know, just take the points. Let's get out of here. We got a gift. And Schwartz bends the extra point through. Huge
Bill
momentum change.
Yeah, Bill Blankenship trusts his offensive line. They have blocked well so far. A risky endeavor there, and Douglas fights to get in the end zone. Big play for Tulsa.
An 8-play, 80-yard drive that lasted a minute. Looked for a while like maybe Tulsa was just trying to run out the clock and was satisfied with the tie game going into the locker room. They got a big run from Cody Green, and then that changed what they were doing. All of a sudden, Green started to throw. And Jen is standing by with Coach Blankenship.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, why the decision to go for it there? Obviously, it worked out for you. But
well, we're on the 2 with a tough angle, and our kicker's been a little bit erratic. I just wanted to put the pressure on them. I felt like we could run it in.
And we noticed Cody Green had a bit of a cut on his throwing hand. How has that affected him, and is that affecting play calling?
I don't think it's a factor. He hadn't acted like it's a factor. He's a champ. He'll go with it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Dave?
All right, Jen. A gutsy call there by Blankenship. It works out. 21-14 is the score. Discover Card halftime report with Wendy Nix, Todd McShay, Robert Smith. Conference USA Championship game winner plays in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and it's Tulsa on top of Central Florida 21-14 as we get ready to start the third quarter. Dave Pasch alongside Brian Greasy. Tulsa very committed to the run. 2-to-1 run-pass ratio in the first half. And how about the decision with 2 seconds left on the 2-yard line at the end of the half not to kick it, but to go for it, and they get a touchdown.
Well, a very unorthodox 2-minute drill. You run the ball 3 times in a row. You get a big run by Cody Green. Then all of a sudden you say, well, we might be able to get in position for a field goal. And then you throw a couple of passes, and then you loft one down the field, and you end up on the 2-yard line. And what a fitting way to finish it off, to punch it in with 2 seconds left in the half.
Tulsa will start the second half with the football. Watts and Langer are deep. Sean Galvin kicking off for UCF. Trying to become the first school to win 3 Conference USA championships. Tulsa has 1 title. That was back in 05. That hit the upright. It'll come out to the 25. And speaking of Jen Brown, here she is down on the field.
Thanks, Dave. Well, I talked to UCF head coach George O'Leary at the half. I asked him what adjustments Blake Bortles needed to make here in the second half of this game. He said he's not setting his feet. He's making way too many arm throws, and that if he would just set his feet, he would be able to throw with the good technique that he has, and he would be a much better passer in the rest of this game. So that's the focus for them.
I trust that what you said was really good, Jen. I couldn't hear you, though.
Talk about concentration right there for Jen Brown. At least the Tulsa fans are ready for the second half.
And they'll keep it on the ground here. Their 33rd rush of the game. 14 passes. Trey Watts picks up a couple. Tulsa 12th in the country in rushing yards per game at 236. And they're on pace for more than that. At least UCF, after getting around that number for an entire game in the first meeting, did better on offense in the first half.
Well, I think it had a lot to do with Bortles running the football a little bit, especially in third down situations. He's got as many yards as Murray does.
Here's Watts. Pushes a defender out of the way, then ducks under another one and gets to the 19-yard line. Good gain there, about 6. Terrence Plummer gets him down. Third down coming up midway through the third with Tulsa leading by a touchdown.
This is the scenarios where you've got to be able to throw the ball effectively. And so far in this game, they've used Watt not only to run the ball, but also catching the ball in the backfield. I might try to get him the ball in third down situation.
There's Garrett. And he'll be close to the first down at the 22-yard line. Jonathan Davis on the tackle does not get a favorable spot. It's going to be 4th and 1. And they will punt it this time.
That's just good defense there by Central Florida. They bring a little bit of pressure to come up, force the quick throw, and come up and make the tackle. See Jonathan Davis, who was hurt a little bit earlier in the game, comes up and makes a stop. And, yeah, it looks like he came down just shy of that first down.
Where the ball is, just because his leg was over doesn't mean that he got the first down. So 4th and 1. And Cole Way, who again has had 3 punts blocked this year. Kicking into the wind, and boy, that's a bad punt. Look at this thing. Might be negative. They finally get to it around the 27-yard line. That might be 0 yards on the punt.
He's had these punts blocked, but he has not gotten a good punt off today. And when you're punting into the wind, it's so important to get a good spiral to try to cut through at least a little bit of that wind. You can't just throw your arms up and say, hey, man, it's windy out. You got to do the best you can. And the ball's not coming off of his foot real well.
We're being told officially a 5-yard punt. He had an 18-yard punt earlier. Look at the hustle down there by Derek Patterson to make sure that wasn't a negative 5-yard punt.
Yeah. Might as well go for it on 4th down if your punter's going to punt like that.
Bryn Harvey in the game at running back. We have not seen him yet today, but he's the 5th all-time leading rusher at UCF. Bortles in trouble, pumps, now on the move. He can run, and he will. Inside the 20, and picks up the first down inside the 15-yard line.
Nice job by Bortles here. He wanted to throw a quick route into the boundary. Nobody there. Don't panic. That's what happened last time these two teams played. He panicked and didn't make these kinds of plays. Extend it, keep your eyes downfield, and then when you make that decision, get as much as you can and get down. Good improvement by Bortles from the game 2 weeks ago to this game.
14-yard run. First down at the 13-yard line of Tulsa. UCF led this game 14-7. 14 straight points by the Golden Hurricane, and now Central Florida looking to tie it up on this drive. Harvey gets plowed by DeAndre Brown as a terrific tackler, converted safety, now middle linebacker. Leads the team in stops, 7th in the country in total tackles, and he's got 17 tackles for a loss this year, so they can do a lot of things with him.
He's playing his last game here at Chapman Field, and these Tulsa fans have been spoiled with DeAndre Brown, a heck of a football player. All that you mentioned, the tackles, but then he adds 9.5 sacks on top of that. He's just a game changer.
Yep. 2nd down and 8. Bortles to the air, and a dangerous pass, but it's pulled in by Wharton. He holds onto the ball as he gets trampled near the first down marker at the 3. There is a defender right there.
Derek Jackson, the tackle. They're going to bring a blitz, and they pop the tackle out in the zone. And how close does he come to getting his hand on that ball? Looked like he hit it a little bit. You know, you drop those big 300-pound defensive tackles out and ask them to play the ball in the air. Sometimes it's an adventure, but Big Derek Jackson was inches away from making a play there.
Now it's 3rd and 1. And Bortles will stay in the game. They've gone with a Wildcat on short yardage before, but they'll stick with Bortles under center instead of Calabrese. And on a quarterback sneak, Bortles pushing appears to have it to the 2-yard line. Good job up front by UCF. It's 1st and goal.
I tell you, it's not easy when you call that quarterback sneak. You ask your quarterback to go in there and get that tough yard for your football team. You go in there and get knocked around, and there's guys scratching and clawing at you. Nice job by.
Speak from experience.
Nice job by Bortles. You never know what's going to happen. You get in there. You know they can't hit you when you're in the pocket, but when the officials can't see you and you're at the bottom of the pile, all kinds of stuff goes on.
Got an eye gouge in there, probably, right?
Phew.
Been the victim of 1 or 2. Here's Murray, and he's in. Touchdown, UCF. The conference's leading rusher, Latavius Murray, gets the Knights within a point. 14th rushing touchdown for Murray, first of the day. 16th overall for the senior. 8 consecutive games with a rushing touchdown. He's the MVP as they get the blocked extra point. It's picked up. They can return it for 2 points. DeMarco Nelson being chased. And Nelson tripped up, at the last second by Calabrese. So no conversion for UCF and no conversion for Tulsa. Remember, if DeMarco Nelson returns it, he gets 2 points.
Great blocking up front by the offensive line for UCF, McCray and company, but great effort by Calabrese. He was the holder on this, chasing down a defensive back. Gives you a sense of his speed.
Tulsa leads by 1 after blocking an extra point and almost returning it for 2 points.
That was a breakdown on the left side. Phil Smith, the offensive tackle. You're going to see if you freeze right there, guys. Look, he's trying to hold the hands together. Offensive linemen do that sometimes. You see them all locked up, but comes through the middle, Trent Martin, and comes right up the middle. The left tackle has got to block down and secure that. You can't hold hands and try to stop Trent Smith from coming in to block the kick. We'll see how much of an effect that has as this game goes on.
And then how about the holder, Calabrese, racing down the field, trying to keep DeMarco Nelson from getting 2 points, and if he doesn't trip him up, he'll score.
That's great effort. And it's a testament to Calabrese as a quarterback. You know, he wants to be that player. He's going to contribute any way he can to the success of the football team, and that was a big play.
With the help of the win, the kick sails out of the end zone. A 5-yard punt by Tulsa turned into a touchdown, but a blocked extra point. So it's a 1-point lead for Tulsa. And on first down, Trey Watts takes it out to the 29 for about 4. Troy Gray made the tackle. 4 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter of the Conference USA title game. Bill Blankenship, the head coach at Tulsa, trying to get his team there to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, try to win the title for the first time since '05. He's a former quarterback here at Tulsa. The current signal caller, Cody Green, having trouble since an early successful start, converted his first 6 passes, but he's been off the mark since.
Yeah, and they're going to need Cody Green to make some plays to win this football game in the second half. And he has lost all of his rhythm. I don't know if it had something to do with the hand or whatnot, but they have not been able to get anything going in the passing game in the second half.
He's 5 for his last 12 passing with an interception. He'll throw on 3rd and 6. And again, pass was a little bit off the mark, but catchable. Jordan, or make that Trey Watts, the intended receiver. Incomplete, 4th down. And again, a punt into the wind.
3rd down, so important. And Trey Watts, such a good weapon, runs a great route, gets open, and you just can't get him the ball. And Cody Green, you got to put that ball on the numbers. You can turn upfield, you have a 1st down, and you're off and running. But this is what happens with quarterbacks when they don't get out of rhythm. They lose confidence. It's very difficult.
Cole Way hoping the punt doesn't go the wrong way again. Last one went backwards and 5 yards. This a little bit better, but not much. And that time it didn't check up. It bounced and went another 8 yards before it's touched at the 41-yard line. Play action on 1st down for Bortles, in trouble and throws it away. That should be grounding. And here comes the flag. Jared St. John had pressure
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 5. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. The down one count. It'll be second.
You're going to roll. You're going to see it's a naked, and they want to throw the ball down the field, and there's just nobody there, and you can't throw the ball to nobody when you have pressure, and he did not get outside the pocket. Good call by the official. Sometimes when you have that rollout and the tight ends blocking, that means you want to throw the ball deep down the field, but when you get immediate pressure, you're not going to have an immediate outlet, and you're in trouble at the quarterback spot.
And the routes were deep. Thus the grounding, loss of down, 2nd and 22. Play clock at 1 as Bortles' pass is off the mark. McDuffie with a diving attempt. John Flanders on the coverage. Flanders had a big play for Tulsa a couple years ago. Game-winning interception in the win against Notre Dame. The old Notre Dame. It's a new Notre Dame now. Brian Kelly, they're playing for the national championship. Remember that? They lost to Tulsa just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
How about you love these as a player? 3rd down and 22.
It's worse as a play caller.
Defense knows what you need. Let's see if Bortles can make a play. Running around, waiting for an offensive player to come free. He does, and what a catch. Perriman laying out, able to hang on to it. 1st down inside the 35. 29 yards through the air on 3rd and 22.
Great job extending that play and then going across the body to find Perriman, who came all the way from the other side of the field. Kept working, got away from Flanders. And I've been impressed with Perriman. You know, looks a lot like his father, a little bit bigger, but he has made plays as this season has gone on and become a reliable target for Bortles.
Dad Brett had a decade in the NFL, played at the University of Miami. Murray cutting it back, diving to the 28-yard line, a 4-yard gain. Trent Martin, who blocked the extra point, makes the tackle on that play.
That's the kind of conversion on 3rd and really long that can really deflate a defense. Tulsa, you're expecting in that situation to get off the field. Then you give up, let the quarterback out of the pocket, give up a big play. And in a tight game like this, you've got to have that leadership to find it within yourself to get a stop here, despite the fact that you gave up that big conversion.
13 carries for Murray on the day. They fake it to him, and in trouble. Bortles had to get rid of this. He got clocked by Jarrett St. John. He was going for Giovanetti. So it's 3rd down and 6.
When you run the naked, you have to know what you're going to be coming back to. Is there going to be pressure on the outside? You can't just come out of there blind. That time Bortles got a little bit surprised by St. John. You need to know that he's unblocked when you take the snap from center. It's going to prevent a lot of pain on the backside.
Third down and 6. Would be about a 46-yard field goal with the win from here. Bortles stepping up and running. Got the 1st down and might have a touchdown. He will. UCF retakes the lead. They convert 3rd down and 22. And then a 28-yard touchdown run by Bortles, his 7th rushing touchdown this season.
Give credit, you make the big throw on 3rd and 22 to keep that drive alive, and then the middle of the field opens wide open, and Bortles shows exceptional speed.
And they block up front better on the point after. Moffitt puts it through. It's 27-21.
There was great coverage downfield. You had 2 high safeties. They bring some pressure. Once you get past that first line of defense, now there's running room for the quarterback and good speed to beat the secondary to the end zone.
And Bortles now with 3 touchdowns, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground, all coming on 3rd down. That was 3rd down and 6. That touchdown run there.
On its back-to-back weeks that we've seen some big plays against this Tulsa defense. They lost last week to SMU 35-27. They were down 35-6 in that game. Now there were some turnovers and a blocked punt, but still gave up a bunch of points.
Here's Watts on the return. And he gets tagged to the 22-yard line. They give it to Singleton again. This time he's brought down in the backfield by Terrence Plummer.
Here, what you got to do is you got to get more than one guy to him to get him on the ground. You can't tackle him high. Although when I think about that, you don't really want to tackle him low.
I mean, look at his legs.
You better get at least 2 or 3 guys on Singleton to get him on the ground.
They pitch it to Watts. Finds a crease near the first down and appears to have it at midfield. That's a 12-yard gain, first down.
You can't underestimate how hard it is on a defense to face 2 very different backs. Watt has got speed and elusiveness and vision, and then Singleton is tough downhill. When you go to tackle Singleton, you got to go as a group. Then you get Watts. You can't catch him. You're always thinking as a defender how to get these guys on the ground.
Watts again, wrapped up at the ankles by Plummer. What could be the final play of the third quarter as they are into UCF territory, trailing by 6. That's the end of the third quarter. UCF on top, 27-21 in the Conference USA Championship. Final quarter of the Conference USA Championship game. Central Florida trying to become the first school to win 3 Conference USA titles. Team that's leaving the league, going to the Big East in all sports next year, their final game in Conference USA. And on second down, Cody Green running and getting a couple before Terrence Plummer makes the stop. So it's third down for Tulsa, trailing here at home by 6.
It's important to note with the way the wind has been blowing all day today that now in the fourth quarter, Tulsa will have it at their back. And UCF, who's down 6 points or up 6 points in this game, will have it into the win. So it could be a factor as this game goes on.
Here's Watts in short yardage, and he is stuffed by Plummer. So they took Singleton out there for third down and 2, brought in Watts, and he doesn't pick it up. So what do you do here on fourth down? You're down 6.
There's no question here. I mean, there's no question. You got to run the ball with Singleton. And I'm surprised he wasn't in there on third down. He's getting the ball on first and second down. They're using Watt on third down. But when you get 4th and 1, I might go for it on my own 20-yard line if I had this kid at the halfback spot.
14 straight run plays, and number 15 coming right now, probably to that guy. Last time they tried a quarterback sneak, Cody Green did not get it. Green on 4th and 6, throws complete. First down catch by Robertson, but a big play, the game's initial touchdown, and a fresh set of downs for Tulsa, 11 yards on the play. Now some up-tempo for the Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, that last play, they decide to use Watt as a decoy. They run a little return route underneath, and then Robertson over the top. The linebackers jump Watt, and it's an easy throw.
Singleton dives to the 14-yard line for 3 yards. Jonathan Davis tripping him up. And you also remember Bill Blankenship told Jen at halftime when they went for the touchdown instead of a field goal with 2 seconds left that not real confident in his kicker, Daniel Schwartz. And that could be a factor as we get down the stretch here. Probably wasn't that 4th down call. Electing to go for it instead of trying a 46-yard field goal. Singleton again. And they wrap him up at the 11. 3 more yards on the ground. Third down coming up.
I mean, you just have so many UCF defenders in the box now, 9 of them at times, and very difficult to run the football against those kinds of looks. Would love to see Tulsa take a couple of shots on first down on the outside and get ahead of the sticks. Get to 2nd and 3. So when you give the ball to Singleton now, you're converting on 2nd and 3rd downs rather than having to convert on 4th down.
3rd and 4, 10th play of the drive coming up. This drive started on the 47 of UCF. Here's Watts, and he gets nailed at the line of scrimmage by Ishmael. So it's 4th down and 4. You got to kick it here, don't you? Take the points, make it a 3-point game?
Yes.
Doesn't look like they're going to, though. Looks like they're going again.
That last play, 74, Stetson Burnett comes around and just didn't block anybody. And Ishmael was right there to get blocked, but Burnett went right by him.
They're going to go on 4th down and 4.
No safety.
They must have zero confidence in their kicker. Green to throw into traffic, triple coverage, incomplete. UCF takes over on downs. Why not take the points there? I know the wind is a factor, but it's only a 32-yard field goal.
I completely agree with you. In a game like this, especially when you have the wind behind you, take the 3 points. They just try to get Robertson, and it's well covered. Nobody's fooled there. You're not going to get pass interference when there's 3 guys back there. Clearly, that pass was not going to be completed. And again, take the field goal.
UCF leading by 6. Tulsa has turned it over on downs 3 times in UCF territory this half. Elected not to go for a field goal there to try to make it a 3-point game. They paid for it. Now here's Murray on 1st and 10. Pinballs forward to the 17-yard line. A gain of 6. Nelson and McCoy team up on the stop for Tulsa.
That is an amazing stat that Bill Blankenship has decided to go for it that much in this short amount of time. And sometimes coaches get into a scenario where they want to go for it all the time. And you get rewarded by going for it in some risky situations, like right before the half, and they get the touchdown. And then you think, well, we can do this all the time. And sometimes it comes back to bite you.
And UCF, pretty good running team. We'll see if they just pound it here with Murray. Got to take time off the clock. 6:45 left. It's Murray again. And this time he is chopped to the ground to the 17 by Trent Martin. Minimal gain. All right, Wendy, we got 6:20 left here in regulation. Could a blocked extra point end up being the difference? UCF leading 27-21. And an extra point blocked. And Tulsa's come up empty in its last few possessions in UCF territory. 3rd down and 4 for the Knights. Off play action, a sack inside the 10, the ball out. They rule him down though. It's recovered by Tulsa, but they rule Bortles down. Bufford with the sack.
Bufford just came through. He beat the offensive line, and there was no chance for Bortles. Been right by Phil Smith, the right tackle.
And definitely down. You see the ball come out once the arm hits the ground. It was recovered by UCF anyway. Now they get a punt into the wind. Punting from the end zone. Watts is the deep man.
Good punt.
And Watts going to let it go. We'll see if it checks up. It does. And it was touched at the 45, and then it's picked up. It's picked up by Watts. It's a live ball. Watts inside the 40. He didn't step out. He'll take it all the way. Touchdown, Tulsa. Everybody stopped for UCF after the batted ball, except one guy. Trey Watts, 54-yard return to tie the game, and now the extra point coming. Even though it's touched first by UCF, it's not dead.
Yeah.
But UCF stopped. Trey Watts didn't. Picked it up and ran it in. Shorts. And it's blocked. How about that? We remain tied at 27. That's the 7th missed extra point by Tulsa this year. Oh, my goodness.
Well, Bill Blankenship told us that he felt Trey Watt was one of the most instinctive, smart football players he's ever had. And he showed you why right there, never giving up on that play. But can you believe it? They get the kick blocked.
UCF didn't give up here. Going hard after the extra point. And they block it. We're tied at 27. 5 minutes to go. Tied at 27 in the Conference USA Championship game. A blocked extra point after this. Now watch the official. It's not supposed to be dead, but he calls it dead. Even though it was touched by a Knight, it has to be controlled for the play to be whistled dead.
Right, and he's clearly waving his hands above his head. The question is, he throws his beanbag down.
Yeah. Were
those UCF defenders potentially looking at that official doing that, and that would say that the play is over?
And then why didn't the other officials then confer, and why didn't he say, I blew it dead, the play's dead?
I don't know if the other officials saw him. They were watching the play, and it's up to that official to say, hey, you know, I did this. But either way, it counts.
McDuffie will take the knee, will come out to the 25. UCF ball, first down on the 25. Bortles surveying the defense. And a dart to the 31-yard line. Rennell Hill on the catch. Pickup of 6.
Now UCF is in a tie ball game, and they've got to go into the wind. And this wind has not died down at all. If anything, it looks like it may have picked up a little bit more. So can Blake Bortles throw the ball effectively into this wind with 4.5 minutes left in this game, bring his team back?
It'll be Murray. Kind of busted outside, then he cut it back. The ball came out. Fumble at the 32-yard line. Lowell Rose stripped the ball, and UCF able to recover.
Now UCF recovers this fumble, but I think it was a fumble. Sean Jackson there ripped that out. Absolutely, that was a fumble, and UCF very fortunate to get that ball back.
Yeah, look, coming in, Torian Wilson was able to recover the fumble. .3:18 remaining. It's Murray. And he's able to break a tackle and drags John Flanders with him to the 45. Gain of 4. Central Florida with all 3 of its timeouts remaining. The next snap will come inside 3 minutes to go. We had the MAC championship game last night go to overtime with Northern Illinois beating Kent State. Are we headed for OT in the Conference USA championship game? Close finish in the Pac-12 with Stanford beating UCLA. Now the Dr. Pepper ACC championship tonight on ESPN with Florida State and Georgia Tech. Bortles steps up, gets rid of it, incomplete. Try to hit Perriman. It's 3rd down and 6.
That was a very dangerous play from Blake Bortles. Could have been a game changer. Tried to buy some time, comes up in the pocket. You got to be careful. You come up. He flings this ball out there. That almost went right into the arms of McCoyle, who would have taken it back for 6 points. If Carter didn't get his hand on that ball, that was a touchdown interception the other way.
That would have been his 18th Conference USA record. I mean, he's pretty good when it comes to tracking footballs in the air. He's got 4 picks this year. 3rd down and 6. From the 45 of Central Florida. Bortles steps up and runs and has the first down. Oh, he took a shot. DeMarco Nelson came in and a blow to the head to Bortles. No penalty flag.
Well, you come out of the pocket like this and you dive, you're competing. You want to get that first down for your team. You go head first and all bets are off. And he just gets knocked and pinballed around there. Very dangerous hit. Looks like he's all right.
Approaching 2 minutes to go. Remember, they would be kicking into the wind. The field goal kicker's long as 49 on the season. Murray dropped by McCoy after a gain of about 2.
Well, the clock is really not an issue here. Each team has all 3 timeouts, just under 2 minutes. If I'm Tulsa, I am going to come up and try to stop the run with all of my defenders, because you can't throw the ball down the field with any kind of accuracy because of the wind. You've got to come up and get a stop here on this set of downs to prevent a field goal attempt.
You'd have to get normally about the 31 for Sean Moffitt, but today maybe the 21 or inside the 20. Bortles steps up. Oh, it's dropped at the 35-yard line. It would have been a first down. Justin Tukes couldn't hang on, and it's 3rd down and 9.
Who's going to make the play in the critical situation to get the win? Tukes had the opportunity. Great job buying time. That ball comes out a little squirrely. Definitely wasn't a spiral. Sometimes that gets on those receivers and it's difficult to catch, but it should have been a catch.
Bortles on 3rd down is 5 of 9 for 83 yards and 2 touchdown passes.
And he's hurt him with his feet on 3rd down. You got to contain him.
Yeah, had a 28-yard touchdown run on 3rd down. Here they come with pressure. It's picked up and the pass was behind the intended receiver. Hall, incomplete. It's 4th down.
Tulsa comes with pressure. Their signature, they bring 2 linebackers, and Hall is open. If this is an accurate pass, that's a 1st down, and that's the play. That's why I come back to saying who's going to make the play, the catch, the throw in the critical situations to win a championship, and Bortles missed the opportunity there.
So they'll punt the ball here to try to ping Tulsa deep. Easier said than done when you're kicking into the wind. And remember, the man who is deep for Tulsa, Trey Watts, just scored a touchdown the last time he touched it. Got a kick return for a touchdown this year as well. That hangs in the air. And look at Central Florida. Crowder on the ball and shield Watts from it so that they can down it.
Box out.
26-yard punt. Tulsa ball when we come back. Conference USA title game. Tulsa has won 1. Central Florida's won 2. This is UCF's final game in Conference USA, moving to the Big East next year, at least as of today. Tulsa's going to keep it on the ground with Watts, and brought down to the 23. We'll see if Tulsa uses a timeout here. UCF has 2 timeouts, so they might be inclined to use one.
Well, there's only under a minute left in the game, and Tulsa hasn't been able to throw the ball with any kind of effectiveness in the second half. It's been all running with Watts and with Singleton, and so can they throw the ball in this situation is a question.
Here's Watts. Let's see if UCF calls a timeout. Clock is stopped.
It's a 1st down. That's why.
1st downs to move the chains. Now let's see if Tulsa goes to the air with 37 seconds left and 3 timeouts. Green will throw, but it's a short pass. James. And they wrap him up at the 36-yard line. And now a timeout called by Tulsa with 26 seconds left.
Yeah.
All right, how do you handle this if you're Tulsa? You just use a timeout. So obviously they're in the mode of attack still.
Yeah, you got to. I think they were a little bit conservative inside their 20, because if there was some kind of a turnover, still an opportunity to kick a field goal for UCF. But now that they're outside the 35, they can be aggressive.
They're going to run it though with Watts, and he's short of the 1st down. Does UCF call a timeout? Tulsa's not calling one.
This is telling. You get the ball with a minute left, and you only need a field goal, and you don't allow your quarterback to attack and throw the football. It tells you a lot about the confidence they have in Cody Green right now.
Well, now they're going to let him run another play. 2 guys deep, but everybody else being careful with underneath coverage, and they're just going to run it. Watts.
He ain't giving up.
No. And don't get a penalty. They threw him out of bounds, but don't get a 15-yard flag if you're UCF and put the ball at the 32 and give him a shot. No flag thrown, so we go to overtime. A pair of blocked extra points in the second half, and we go to OT in Tulsa. Tulsa and Central Florida tied at 27. Been some big plays in this ball game.
Anytime you go to overtime, I start to think about what teams have really good red zone offense and defense, because that's what basically this is red zone. And both of these teams are very good on red zone offense. 64% touchdown conversions for Tulsa in these situations, and actually UCF is even better at 70% scoring touchdowns in the red zone. So both of these teams are in good position to get the ball in the end zone.
Both teams have had problems with the kicking game, not just today, but especially today with the blocked extra points. And the last one really hurt when Tulsa had tied the game on that great play by Watts on the punt return, but then just a killer with a missed extra point. 1st down on the 25-yard line. Latavius Murray, 19 carries, 67 yards. Here's attempt number 20. Straight ahead of the 22 for 3 yards.
Anytime UCF wants to throw play action over the middle, it's there. They've got Tulsa playing the run now. Dexter McCoyle, the strong safety, is coming down so fast to stop Latavius Murray that anytime they want to throw that post off of play action, it's there.
2nd down and 7.
There's McCoy right here. He's been the one that's been coming down.
He stays deep in the middle of the field. They hand it off. Murray gets nailed at the point of attack by Trent Martin. Gain of 1. Normally you'd say that the home team has the advantage because of the crowd, but you don't really have that here. Remember, the enrollment here is only 4,000. You got a small stadium, smaller student section, so there's not as much pressure on the road team dealing with the crowd and the noise. They've had a lot of success on 3rd down, throwing and running. And Bortles back to pass. Into traffic, incomplete. Intended for Godfrey. What does UCF do on 4th down? They're going to try a field goal.
Well, great job. They bring the linebackers again. Arthur Brown, DeAndre Brown, excuse me, is the one that's left to guard Godfrey. And Brown again makes a great play for Tulsa. Their outstanding middle linebacker covering a wide receiver.
38-yard field goal try here in overtime. And it's blocked. We've had 2-point afters blocked and now a field goal block. But hey, it's not a guarantee that Tulsa's going to get a field goal given their issues in the kicking game.
I think it was Corey Doris, number 93, right over the center. Take a look. Does he get a hand on this ball?
Looked like it was Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson and Doris were right there. And, you know, you have one block kick, now another one. That's just a low kick. That ball's got to get up and get fast. And I think he knew it.
Well, now, and it's up to Tulsa. Remember, they've gone for it this entire half on 4th down, Tulsa. So if they're in a situation where it's 4th and 6, 4th and 4, they may go for it rather than electing to put their true freshman kicker out there who struggled. They'll run it here. Watts brought down at the 23. Only a couple of yards there. Cam Henderson, Terrence Plummer team up on the tackle.
And if I'm Cody Green in the huddle, I'm reminding all of my receivers and backs, hold on to the football, because you're coached on defense in this scenario to strip. The worst thing that happen is a fumble or interception here for Tulsa.
They'll pitch it to Watts, trying to get the corner. He does! And he's tripped up. Otherwise, he wins. Otherwise, he scores a touchdown and wins the game. But Boye saves the touchdown with the ankle tackle.
Great block by Carter, number 34, right there. He gets him on the ground. And a saving tackle. But great block on the outside by Carter to free Watt.
1st and goal for Tulsa on the 6-yard line.
And again, most important thing here is center quarterback exchange and Singleton protecting the football.
Here's Singleton. He's to the 4-yard line. UCF trying to rip the ball out. Helmet came off of E.J. Dunston, one of their top interior defensive linemen. He's got to come out for a play. And Singleton, who has 39 career rushing touchdowns, 40 overall, looking to get another one here. He got 2 yards on that play at 2nd and goal.
And you know Bill Blankenship wants to punch this ball in the end zone. He does not want to try a field goal or kick of any kind with having one blocked already.
It's Singleton again to the 1 and in, touchdown, and Tulsa wins Conference USA. Some of the Central Florida players upset, feeling that he was down short of the goal line. They will review this further just to make sure that Singleton crossed the plane before he went down. Let's take a look.
Just power right up the middle. Watch the pile move when Singleton comes through. And it's very difficult to see whether his knees were down before that ball.
Well, it looks like
across the line.
Yeah, it looks like he got it from that angle, that his legs, rear end not down.
You can't see from that side. When you go back to that last angle, you can see there may be a little bit of air between his legs and the ground before that ball. There it is right here. And you can see it doesn't look like there's anything touching the ground before he crossed the goal line. There's nothing there to overturn the call.
After review of the play, the runner's elbow was down prior to him crossing the goal line. The ball will be placed on the half-yard line, and it'll be third down.
There you go. So good work by our crew giving the officials that. And
Absolutely.
so he is short. It is third down. So they go back to Singleton here and stuff it.
And just to finish, based on that last look and having the two frames together, you could see that. So again, great job by our crew. But absolutely, this is Singleton's play here, and it's going to be hard to stop him from getting in the end zone.
You only need about 4 inches. He's on 99 rushing yards for the day right now.
And remember what they did at the beginning of the first half. Blankenship didn't want a severe angle for a field goal.
He'll hand it off. Over the top. Singleton is in. It's official. Tulsa wins Conference USA.
This time over the top. And no question, Singleton in for the win.
260 pounds flying through the air, crossed the plane before he got pushed back. It's a touchdown. Second today for Singleton, 21st rushing touchdown of the season and 41st touchdown of his career. Bill Blankenship, the head coach, standing by with Jen.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, you might be one of the only coaches that have had 2 Gatorade baths in the same game. What does it say about your team's ability to battle back in this exciting back-and-forth game?
What these people saw today is what I've been seeing all year. Great bunch.
Trey Watts, obviously a huge player today, did so many amazing things. What did you think of that 54-yard?
He may be one of the smartest players that I've ever coached. He just is football smart. It's one of the things that Coach Downing, Coach Bitson talk to him about all the time is that's a live ball for us. How smart was it to pick it up and go? I mean, what a great player.
Certainly paid off to tie up the game. This is Tulsa's second conference title. You guys head to the Liberty Bowl. What does that mean to this program?
It's absolutely huge. This is something that we've been talking about for a long time. These guys, it's been a void in their career, and it's a big deal.
Go celebrate with your team, Coach. Congratulations, Dave.
23 years as a high school coach in Oklahoma, 14 at Union High School in Tulsa, and now in his second year as the head coach on a college team in town. Bill Blankenship leads Tulsa to a Conference USA championship and a spot in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. UCF will head to the Beef O'Brady's Bowl. Final score 33-27. Tulsa wins it in overtime. For Jen Brown, Brian Greasy, I'm Dave Pash. So long from Tulsa.